Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Today is Tula Sankramamam Sharad Purnima. This is the day when Lord Sri Krishna did Rasa Leela. So it's a very auspicious day. Chapter 16. Suta Uvacha Tataf Parikshit Dvijavarya Shikshaya Mahim Mahabhagavata Shashasaha Yatahi Sutyamabhijatako Vidaha Samadishan Vipramahadgunastatha. Suta Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas, Maharaja Parikshit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instructions of the best of the twice-born Brahmanas. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by the expert astrologers at the time of his birth. Sa uttarasya tanayam upayema iravatim janame jayadim chatuhu tasyamutpadayat sutan. King Parikshit married the daughter of King Uttara and begot 4 sons headed by Maharaja Janamejaya. Ajaharashvamedam strin Gangayam bhuri dakshinan Sharadvatam gurum krutva devayatrakshi gocharaha. Maharaja Parikshit, after having selected Krupacharya for guidance as his spiritual master, performed 3 horse sacrifices on the banks of the Ganga. These were executed with sufficient rewards for the attendants, and at these sacrifices even the common man could see demigods. Nijagrahau jasa viraha kalim digvijaye kvachit drupalingadharam shudram dhyanantam gomitunam pada. Once, when Maharaja Parikshit was on his way to conquer the world, he saw the master of Kali Yuga, who was lower than a Shudra, distinguished as a king and hurting the legs of a cow and a bull. The king at once caught hold of him to deal sufficient punishment. Shaunaka uvacha kasya hetor nijagraha kalim digvijaye nrupaha drudeva chihnadrak shudra kosau gamyaf padahanat tatkatyatam mahabhaga yadi krishna katashrayam. Shaunaka Rishi inquired, why did Maharaja Parikshit simply punish him, since he was the lowest of the Sudras, having dressed as a king and having struck a cow with his leg? Please describe all these incidents if they relate to the topics of Lord Krishna. Atavasya padambojam akarandar liham satam kimanyaira sadalapair ayusho yadasadvyayaha. The devotees of the Lord are accustomed to licking up the honey available from the lotus feet of the Lord. What is the use of topics which simply waste one's valuable time, one's valuable life? क्षुद्रायुषां नृणामङ्गं मर्त्यानामृतमिच्छताम् इहोपहूतो भगवान् मृत्युश्यामित्रकर्मणि. O Sutta Goswami, there are those amongst men who desire freedom from death and get eternal life. They escape the slaughtering process by calling the controller of death Yamaraja. न कश्चिन्म्रियते तावद् यावदास्त इहान्तकः यतदर्थं हि भगवान् आहुतः परमर्षिभिः अहो नृलोकेऽपीयेत हरिलीलामृतं वचः. As long as Yamaraja, who causes everyone's death, is present here, no one shall meet with death. The great sages have invited the controller of death, Yamaraja, who is the representative of the Lord. Living beings who are under his grip should take advantage by hearing the deathless nectar in the form of this narration of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Mandasya mandaprajnasya vayo mandayushascha vai nidraya hriyate naktam dhivacha vyartha karmabhihi. Lazy human beings with paltry intelligence and a short duration of life pass the night sleeping and day performing activities that are for naught. Suta uvacha yada Parikshit kuru jangale vasat kalim pravishtam nija chakravartite nishamya varta manati priyam tataha sharasanam samyuga shaundiradhade. Sutta Goswami said, while Maharaja Parikshit was residing in the capital of the Kuru Empire, the symptoms of the age of Kali began to infiltrate within the jurisdiction of his state. When he learned about this, he did not think the matter very palatable. This did, however, give him a chance to fight. He took up his bow and arrows and prepared himself for military activities. Swalam krutam shyamaturangayojitam ratam mrugendra dvajamashritah purat vruto yatashvad vipapatti yuktaya swasenaya digvijayaya nirgataha. Maharaja Parikshit sat on a chariot drawn by black horses. His flag was marked with a sign of the lion. Being so decorated and surrounded by the charioteers, cavalry, elephants, and infantry soldiers, he left the capital to conquer in all directions. Badrashvam ketumalam cha bharatam chottaran kurun kimpurushadini varshani vijitya jagruhe balim. Maharaja Parikshit then conquered all parts of the earthly planets: Brihadvasa, Bhadrasva, Ketumala, Bharata, the northern Kuru, Kimpurusha, etc., and exacted tributes from their respective rulers. Tatropashrunvanaha स्वपूर्वेषां महात्मनां प्रगीयमानं च यशः कृष्णमाहात्म्य सूचकम् आत्मानं च परित्रातम् अश्वत्थान्मोश्रतेजसः स्नेहं च वृष्णिपार्तानां तेषां भक्तिं च केशवे तेभ्यः परमसन्तुष्टः प्रीत्युजृम्भितलोचनः महाधनानि वासांसि ददौ हारान् महामनाः. Wherever the king visited, he continuously heard the glories of his great forefathers, who were all devotees of the Lord, and also the glorious acts of Lord Sri Krishna. He also heard how he himself has been protected by the Lord from the powerful heat of the weapon of Ashwatthama. People also mentioned the great affection between the descendants of Vrishni and Pritha due to the latter's great devotion to Lord Keshava. The king, being very pleased with the singers of such glories, opened his eyes in great satisfaction. Out of magnanimity, he was pleased to award them very valuable necklaces and clothing. सारथ्यपारशदसेवन सख्यदौत्य वीरासनानुगमनस्तव न प्रणामान् स्निग्धेषु पाण्डुषु जगत्प्रणतिं च विष्णोर्भक्तिं करोति नृपतिश्चरणारविन्दे. Maharaja Parikshit heard that out of his causeless mercy, Lord Sri Krishna, Vishnu, who is universally obeyed, rendered all kinds of service to the malleable sons of Pandu by accepting posts ranging from chariot driver to president to messenger, friend, night watchman, etc., according to the will of the Pandavas, obeying them like a servant and offering obeisances like one younger in years. When he heard this, Maharaja Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. तस्यैवं वर्तमानस्य पूर्वेषां वृत्तिमन्वहं नातिदूरे किलाश्चर्यं यदासीत् तन्निबोध मे. Now you may hear from me of what happened while Maharaja Parikshit was passing his days hearing of the good occupations of his forefathers and being absorbed in thought of them. Dharmah padaikena charan vinchayamupalabhyagam pruchati smakshuvadanam vivatsamiva mataram. The personality of the religious principles, Dharma, was wandering about in the form of a bull, and he met the personality of Earth in the form of a cow who appeared to grieve like a mother who had lost her child. She had tears in her eyes, and the beauty of her body was lost. Thus Dharma questioned the earth as follows. Dharma uvacha kaschid bhadre namayamaatmanaste vichayasim layate shanmukhena alakshaye bhavati manantaradhim dhure bandhum shochasi kanchanamba. Dharma, in the form of the bull, asked, Madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease? Or are you thinking of some relative who is away in a distant place? Padairnyunam shochasi maikapadam atmanam vavrusalair bhoksyamanam aho suradhin हृतयज्ञभागान् प्रजा उत स्विन्मधवत्यवर्षति. I have lost my 3 legs and am now standing on one only. Are you lamenting for my state of existence, or are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? Or are you in sorry plight because the demigods are now bereft of their share of sacrificial offerings because no sacrifices are being performed at present? Or are you grieving for living beings because of their sufferings due to famine and drought? Arakshyamanashriya urvi balan sochasyato purushadairivartan vacham devim brahmakule kukarman yabrahmanye राजकुले कुलाग्रयान् अब्रह्मण्ये वाचं देवीं ब्रह्मकुले कर्मण्यब्रह्मण्ये राजकुले कुलाग्रयान्. Are you feeling compulsion for the unhappy women and children who are left forlorn by unscrupulous persons? Or are you unhappy because the goddess of learning is being handled by brahmanas addicted to the acts against the principles of religion? Or are you sorry to see that the brahmanas have taken shelter of administrative families that do not respect Brahminical culture? Kim kshatrabandhun kalinopasrushtan rashtrani va tairava gopitani itastato vashanapanavasaha snanavyavayonmukha jivalokam. The so-called administrators are now bewildered by the influence of this age of Kali, and thus they have put all state affairs into disorder. Are you now lamenting this disorder? Now the general populace does not follow the rules and regulations of eating, sleeping, drinking, mating, etc. And are they inclined to perform such anywhere and everywhere? Are you unhappy because of this? Yadvambhate bhuri bharavatara कृतावतारस्य हरेर्धरित्री अन्तर्हितस्य स्मरति विसृष्टा कर्माणि निर्वाण vilambitani. O Mother Earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, incarnated himself as Lord Sri Krishna just to unload your heavy burden. All his activities here are transcendental and they cement the path of liberation. You are now bereft of his presence. You are probably now thinking of those activities and feeling sorry in their absence. Idam mama chakshva tavadi moolam vasundare yena vikarshitasi kalena vate balinam baliyasa surarchitam kim hrutamamba saubhagam. Mother, you are the reservoir of all riches. Please inform me of the root cause of your tribulations by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. I think that the powerful influence of time, which conquers the most powerful, might have forcibly taken away all your fortune, which was adored even by the demigods. Dharayuvacha Bhagavan hi veda tat sarvam yanmam dharmanupruchasi chaturbhirvartase yena padairlokasukavahaihi. The earthly deity in the form of the cow thus replied to the personality of religious principles in the form of a bull. O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me shall be known to you. I shall try to reply to all those questions. Once you too were maintained by your four legs, and you increased happiness all over the universe by the mercy of the Lord. Satyam Shaucham Daya Kshantihi Tas Shantis Tyagas Santesha Arjavam. Satyam Shaucham Daya Shantis Tyagas Santyo Tyagas Santosha Arjavam. Shamo Dhamastapashta Sabhyam Titikshoparitihikshutam Jnanam Viraktiraivaryam Shauryam Tejo Balam Smrutihi Swanantriyam Swatantriyam Kaushala Kantir Dhairyam Mardhava Mevacha Pragalbhyam Prashraya Sheelam Saha Ojo Balam Bhagaha Gambhiryam Stairyamastikyam Kirtirmanonahum Krutihi Yete Chantye Cha Bhagavan Nityayatra Mahagunaha Prartya Mahatvamichadbir Naviyanti Sma Karhichit Tenaham Gunapatrena Srinivasena Sampratam Sochami Garitam Lokam Papmana Kalinekshitam. In him reside truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of another's unhappiness, the power to control anger, self-satisfaction, straightforwardness, steadiness of mind, control of senses, responsibility, equality, tolerance, equanimity, faithfulness, knowledge, absence of sense enjoyment, leadership, chivalry, influence, the power to make everything possible, the discharge of proper duty, complete independence, dexterity, fullness of all beauty, serenity, kind-heartedness, ingenuity, gentility, magnanimity, determination, perfection in all knowledge, proper execution, possession of all objects of enjoyment, joyfulness, immovability, fidelity, fame, worship, pridelessness, being as the personality of Godhead, eternity, and many other transcendental qualities which are eternally present and never to be separated from Him. That personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Sri Krishna, has now closed His transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In His absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. Atmanam chanushocami bhavantam chamarottamam devan pitrun rushin sadun sarvan varnastatashraman. I am thinking about myself and also, O best amongst the demigods, about you, as well as about all the demigods, sages, denizens of Pitriloka, devotees of the Lord, and all men obedient to the system of Varna and Ashrama in human society. Brahmadayo bahu titam yadapanga moksha kamastapath Samacharan Bhagavat Prapannaha Sashri Swavasa Maravindavanam Vihaya Yat Pada Saubhagamalam Bhajane Turakta Tasyahamabjakuli Shankushaketuketaihi Srimat पदैर्भगवतः समलङ्कृताङ्गी त्रीनत्यरोच उपलभ्य ततो विभूतिं लोकान् स मां व्यसृजद् उत्स्मयन्तीं तदन्ति. Lakshmi ji, the goddess of fortune, whose glance of grace was sought by demigods like Brahma, and for whom they surrendered many a day unto the personality of Godhead, gave up her own abode in the forest of lotus flowers and engaged herself in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. I was endowed with specific powers to supersede the fortune of all the three planetary systems by being decorated with impressions of the flag, thunderbolt, elephant driving rod, and lotus flower, which are signs of the lotus feet of the Lord. But at the end, when I felt I was so fortunate, the Lord left me. Yo vai mamati bharamasuravam sharagnyam अक्षौहिणी शतमपानुददात्मतन्त्रः त्वां धुस्तमून पदमात्मनि पौरुषेण सम्पादयन् यदुशुरम्भ्यमबिभ्रदङ्गम्. O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by the undue military phalanxes arranged by the atheistic kings, and I was relieved by the grace of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, you were also in a distressed condition, weakened in standing strength, and thus he was incarnated by his internal energy in the family of Yadus to relieve you. कावासहेतविहरं पुरुषोत्तमस्य प्रेमावलोकरुचिरस्मितवल्गुजल्पैः स्थैर्यं समानमहरन्मधुमानिनीनां रोमोत्सवो मम यदङ्घ्रि विटङ्कितायाः. Who therefore can tolerate the pangs of separation from that supreme personality of Godhead? He could conquer the gravity and passionate wrath of his sweethearts like Satyabhama by his sweet smile of love, pleasing glance, and hearty appeals. When he traversed my earth's surface, I would be immersed in the dust of his lotus feet, and thus would be sumptuously covered with grass which appeared like hairs standing on me out of pleasure. Tayorevam katayatoho prithvi dharmayostada parikshinnama rajarshihi praptaf Prachim Saraswatim. While the earth and the personality of religion were thus engaged in the conversation, the saintly king Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east. Thus ends the chapter entitled How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.